Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LTA 2025 matchup.
Yesterday, Dignitas have yet to pick one up here in split number 2, and this is our closer for opening weekend. It's been a great time here in split 2. New format, new teams, same League of Legends as we see the first couple of bans come through.
Okay, so immediately targeting what LYON used in their previous game. It was Saint on the Yone, it was LYON on the Sejuani,
Yeah.
so Dignitas are like, very straightforward research here. Immediately ban what you successfully used last game.
That's called, and you know, that's not necessarily result-based analysis, but it's called doing your homework. Let's put it that way. They were watching the VODs. Vi as well, it has been a prominent blue 1 pick here. So Nefiri still up, maybe LYON go for that one. Body Lane wants to play something more aggressive.
Yeah, I feel like I really do like when LYON is on some frontline like utility stuff.
Sure.
We'll see though, because if they do get LYON on another one of these like CC supports, then you can have LYONs playing a lot with him, and we've seen that very successful. Regardless, Varus is still the first pick of the LTA, and what's going to be the answer? I'm a huge fan of Flex Gwen really early in the draft. Yep. Very viable for both of these players. I actually saw Shaden playing jungle Gwen just yesterday, and Surdy definitely a fan of the champion as well.
It opens up drafts so much, and it gives such a headache to LYON, especially players like Licorice, to think, okay, what are
there
you
you
go for? But they still have Nefiri as an option.
Answer your immunity with an immunity of my own.
True.
Gwen is immune,
but are all
and
immunities,
Nefiri is untargetable.
Are all immunities created equally?
No,
I
they
feel
are
like
not.
Nefiri's a little better.
Yeah, Nefiri is a little better because she can start a tower dive and then pop it and back right out. So LYON is on the Nefiri train. That means that we're already looking down towards the support roles for Lions. You know, you really want to get some setup support there to be able to play with the rest of the team, and specifically with your jungler. But Dignitas first, are they going to answer jungle here or mid lane? Since the Rise was also picked, it looks like jungle so far.
I would have hated something like an Azir, but no, instead it's a Zinja. So they're not holding that flex pick. Instead, they're opting to put Surdy on the Gwen and then give Shaden that Zinjao. The reason I think of things like Azir is because you have the range advantage over the Rise plus the Ezreal, but now Saint will have, in my opinion, a easier to deal with frontline that's diving him. You're gonna be within the Gwen and the Zinjao circles most of the time doing your spells anyway.
Yep, and they also get 2 protection bans for him now, since Dignitas decided to drop their mid lane pick until the 2nd round. So a couple of protection bans, the Azir that you mentioned, plus something else here. I mean, like into the deep dark technologies would be like the Anivia tiers, but we shall see. The engaged support of choice they ban out is the Nautilus. There are still so many up here though, with the Leona, with the Rel type of champions available. They can easily incorporate one of those.
And it's a Talia ban
if they want on the other side.
So Talia, Azir are the ban. So Tristana! Well, that's exciting. Tristana presumably into the mid lane, as long as everything else goes according to plan. And that's going to be support counter pick here for Dignitas.
Yeah, and so, all right, what's it going to be here? Leona, Rel, Alistar, okay.
So a little engaged.
Alistar versus a Xin and a Gwen, to work with. Gwen can sometimes like really chop through the Alistars though, with the true damage, so can become problematic. But they round it out with a Wukong as well. I mean, they can flex. Like Nefiri is also still flexible, but I'm assuming it's still jungle Nefiri. And it is going to be the top lane Wukong.
What's interesting is Wukong notoriously, unless sometimes these little sneaky patches happen, but he has low magic resist, like one of the lowest, if not the lowest, in the game base. So into the Gwen would be a tough matchup. In my head, don't know the matchup intricately.
They could leave the Nefiri flex in the hands of Licorice too if they want to keep switching it around.
No, looks like it's going to.
Doesn't look like they want to. They did. The reason I say that is because they did on one of the last hotfixes buffed up the minion damage of the Q when they were tapping down on the Fury's overall power, because they wanted to like balance the lane power versus the jungle power, and there you go.
There
they did do it.
So the Nefiri does do laning slightly, better.
Yeah, the Q damage to minions was one of the things that actually were beneficial for the lane Nefiri, even though overall the hotfixes were definitely big nerfs and detrimental, especially like the Q cooldown on your E. But still, the mobility of Nefiri into Gwen does sound pretty good. Sounds like it would be hard for Gwen to land the final snip of her snip, because Nefiri is able to dodge pretty effectively.
And I gotta say, Kobe, we're getting treated in opening weekend. No best of 3 fearless, we're in best of 1s. We're still getting some very exciting compositions. Top lane Nefiri.
Also, top lane, both of them are going teleport ignite.
Oh!
Double teleport ignite.
Let's go.
Top lanes. Someone's gonna die. Someone's gonna burn to death.
Surdy versus Licorice, veteran versus newcomer. Can Surdy hang with Lions as a top laner? And again, also the mid lane matchup can be very impactful for Kaney Tristana. Very strong into that Rise from memory. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen Tristana played that much in the mid lane, but in my head, it just seems like you're going to be able to bully the Rise early on, just push this wave and have that early shove.
Meanwhile, and speaking of, the early shove, I would look at the bottom lanes, because Ezreal Karma double poke here into an Alistar. You're going to think, Tomo and Isles, they've actually played together a very long time on previous teams in multiple leagues. And them with an Ezreal Karma here, generally versus Alistar lanes, when the Alistar is still level 1 and cannot combo you, you really want to make the most out of your poke, kind of bully them, get them under tower, and push them through. Meanwhile, this is Lions, first split actually being here.
Yes.
So as far as live games played together, him and Henna just have yesterday that they're going off with their synergy.
Notably, it said on stage. That's very literal right there. So this is only the second time the Henna and Lions have been sitting next to each other on the LTA stage. Will it be beneficial for them? They picked up their first win yesterday. They'd like to keep the ball rolling. They could start off 2-0. That'd be a fantastic start. And they do have supporters in the audience as well.
Not much a level 1 Alistar can do in the face of the poke, so Isle's going to step up, he has brush control, continue to harass as much as he can, then dodge back into the brush, drop the minion aggro. Meanwhile, they also still want to maintain their push, and Wukong is starting bot side, pathing up towards the double teleport ignite lane, which if I ever see that, I am always pathing up towards these no-flash top laners. Both Nefiri and Gwen do have their own dashes built into their kits, though. That's why they feel like they can afford to run without a flash, without that extra mobility summoner. But junglers getting up there might make it a little bit more dicey. Meanwhile, Shaden is pathing down towards his Ezreal Karma, which you do like to see since they want to play off that pressure, shove you under tower, poke you while you're under there, and work off some turret plate money.
And Tomo did take one turret shot there, but otherwise, this is what we're expecting. A health advantage for them because they have that range advantage, constant shoving in as well. I want to talk about that mid lane matchup a little bit more too as well, set the expectations, because Rise notably takes a couple of items to really come online, and if you're constantly shoved in farming under turret, he's already missed about a wave's worth here. Able to pick up a lot of that one, but this is a tough matchup for him because it's hard to really maintain that control, and as well your mana, you have to burn a lot of that to answer the push of a Tristana.
Certainly do, and maybe the Rod of Ages buff where you can start with a couple of ruby crystals there pretty early on, but it's a decent little trade. Again, the poke damage of Qs plus the dogs going and jumping immediately on you provides for such a strong advantage in lane, and Licorice really trying to abuse that. You see those Qs going through the minion wave plus hitting Surdy, trying to take advantage of those minion damage buffs as well as the very strong harassment.
And using his dodge ability on the snip means the Licorice is just heavily trading against Surdy. Shaden now on the bottom side. They actually might look for a dive. Scary to do against an Alistar, and it's actually answered top side here. Adiland going for it early. First blood for Licorice. Successful dive. It is answered bot side. 1-for-1 cross map, but still first blood picked up by Lion.
Let's see about the push afterwards. Instant recall. Ooh, topside minion wave is just a little closer to tower, so it's going to push nicely towards Licorice as well. And Licorice with the first blood money got his pickaxe plus boots by. going to be very, very nice for him. Meanwhile, they're just going to send Surdy after that back down to the bottom side.
Not answered by LYON, because Licorice is still heading topside, and they just teleported Henna down bot. So Dignitas have the earlier delayed lane swap. I know it's not the same traditional starting lane in a lane swap, but we have seen a lot of teams do this once we hit that 4-minute mark. They actually start looking for this. So we'll see if this gives Dignitas an advantage now, trying to get Gwen out of that Nefiri lane.
Yeah, Varus is pretty annoying too.
Yes.
To deal with as far as the lane. So Surdy might have gotten out of the fire into another fire as far as that lane goes. But it's just going to be the recall there for Henna. So they have the option here on their reset for Grubs. We're at 5 minutes, so 1 minute towards Grubs, and they're going to send the Varus on top side after quickly shoving that wave. Now we just have to look at Licorice on his recall since he's got his teleport. If you want to go and kind of swap on over, he's actually going to use it immediately. So burst minion, does he get that melee?
It's a long channel. He gets it. All right.
Just in time.
It's all of them. All right.
Perfect teleports.
Now the reset from Surdy, and he's going to save his TP. So this will be a teleport advantage now for Dignitas. But still early game. We'll see if that actually amounts to anything. Objectives are spawning here. 20 seconds for the Grubs. No one went for that early dragon. Instead, Shaden's hovering the top side. So it looks like we're setting up for the Grubs.
And I would say level 5 Wukong, a pretty big disadvantage versus level 5 Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao really good at skirmishes. Unless Wukong gets to pull out some crazy like juke with his W, then straight up hand-to-hand combat, Xin Zhao beats you every day of the week. Wukong really needs ultimate, so you basically never take those Grub fights. He wants to go for the mid, little pass-through instead. And it is going to mean at least the first Grub is taken without the use of Smite.
Shaden actually goes in onto LYONs, who's just trying to buy time for Saint to Realm Warp in, and now Shaden could be in some trouble. Does not have the ultimate available. Saint might chase him down. Damage to push Shaden out of the pit. No flash available as a 1v1 breaks out bot side. Surdy wins it! In the 1v1, still has the teleport, might be able to reset TP topside, and LYON know that, so they're going to back away.
Oh. That is a big one for Surdy. The solo queue god of North America says, nice counter pick. You got no teammates this time around, buddy. And they take him down. In the double ignite usage, they both just throw down. And the Gwen comes out on top.
Huge because you get the kill, you get the wave in. Licorice has to run back. Surdy can TP back to lane. Let's get another look at that.
Alrighty. So he's only got one dog right now. Jumps in, though. Then you get him back. W resistances and the ulti nice. Didn't really get to,
Yeah, he did dodge the first needlework.
Yeah, didn't get to dodge much with it. Ooh, let's listen in.
I'm dead.
Rough. Yeah, I mean, Licorice knows it. In those types of moments, it's tough, especially when you got that early kill on your lane opponent.
All right, let's see, because those types of matchups do snowball. You know, when it's ignite, teleport. Wait a second, teleport up to the top side to catch that big wave. Ezreal gonna head down bottom side to catch that one, so it's gonna be a much bigger wave for Ezreal that he gets as a reward here, and only gonna drop one of the melees before the cannon takes over aggro, so nice little swapperoni there. Since Dragon is the next objective on the map, you know you want to get your pieces in place here to fight that. And you can see Karma here. Isles doing the prep work for it as well. Into the enemy jungle, getting some wards leading up to it.
And nobody in range to get that turret plate that went down to the minions as well. So Dragon, like you said, is the focus. Currently, there's a couple of wards placed down by LYON. Flanking wards, but no teleports available, so I don't think that we'll actually see a big flank come through. It would just be a traditional front to back if we can get our front line set up. LYON is heading down there, but we actually have Audi lane pathing topside, so he wants to grab these top camps. If Shaden goes for the Dragon, he would be uncontested as of right now. Did some poke damage in the mid lane here, and Shaden just waiting to decide where he wants to go, what he wants to do here. We see him on the mini-map, and now he's approaching the Dragon, so it looks like Dignitas will get the neutral objective. This is their second of the game, as they got all three grubs, so they're on track to get the feats of strength.
Yeah, I mean, one kill for the feats of strength, plus only one more objective for whatever the objective one is called. And they also have been able to work off a lot of turret plate money. So I would have to say across the board going pretty well here for Dignitas in this opener. Aside from that tower dive at the very beginning of the game that LYON were able to pull off against Surdy, really everything else kind of going nicely according to plan there for Dig. But of course, Wukong, we always talk about the level 6 and level 7 here with Flash. Adilan is positioned to be able to make a play, so maybe you get to see the big Wukong moment. It's kind of hard to like choose where you're gonna make it though, and almost like has to be on the Gwen. But then it would have to be like, is he gonna go for like a lane gank or something, try and slip in there and like surprise the Gwen or something? Because Tristana is kind of hard to pull it off against because Kaney's got pretty good reaction time, and then Ezreal Karma also is like very avoidant.
Yeah, really hard to get on top of them.
Yeah, so maybe if Lions can work with Adilan and you get the Alistar combo with the Wukong ultimate and Flash, they'll be able to pull off the big play they're looking for.
I will say LYON's night and day performance from when he was playing remote compared to yesterday when he was playing in person. He did find incredible engages as the Nico, and hopefully he's able to pull that off again here on the Alistar, because Wukong, I like it more as that secondary follow-up engage. Maybe the Chain of Corruption can set it up, but really it's LYON's on the Alistar that I'm looking at as that guy to make action happen.
And this is it. This is where they want to make it happen. Vision control, though, very quickly taken by Dignitas.
Licorice big damage on Kaney, who actually jumps back in. And Licorice says, all right, bet. You have to Buster shot me away just to survive.
Yeah, ult for ult trade. Honestly, you know, not bad there. Not bad for Kaney. The Ignite from Licorice was used. You know, Licorice does dodge the rocket jump with his W, but then just an ult for ult trade and teleport back for Kaney after he gets his Yuntal. So Kaney's going to walk now. Kaney's holding his teleport at the moment until this grub fight actually goes off.
Oh, LYONS looks for the big flank and is not able to land the pulverize, but Saint's in there as well. Now comes Adilan. Big Cyclone damage out of Kaney, flashes in. Hanno with the kill secure. Surdy's looking for the flank right now in a 1v4 situation. He gets one. And that is Feats of Warfare secured as well in the middle of the fight. Dignitas pushing LYON away from the objective. Nice rebuttal. They should be able to get these grubs.
Ooh, a scrappy one. 2 for 1 here. Plus, as you say, though, the objective also going their way. Very quick on the feats of strength. Everything acquired here, presumably by Dignitas. As soon as this grub goes down, you get the alert, and that is full 6 grub buff, plus the feats, plus the gold lead here kind of ballooning for them. Dignitas looking strong.
And the earlier Dragon stacking only one in their pocket right now, but let's get a replay because LYONS has a nice flank.
So take a look at the flash here.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then the Realm Warp for Saint in the middle of the squad. Thought it might actually turn out okay for them, though, because Kaney on the Tristana goes down pretty quick. But since Adilan flashed to commit to it, he also is like in trade. And then the opposite kill on the other side just meant that Dignitas get to fully control the area afterwards. They push him out. You know, they got the 2. Alistar down as well. Grubs, all 6 of them. And so Licorice here gets a little bit of alone time on tower, but he has no grub buffs, so it's very slow work taking that tower plate.
He gets a couple plates. I think that's 1, if not 2 in his pocket. But I think that last engage highlights what you had just been talking about. Slippery to get on an Ezreal. Hard to get on the Karma. They have such good disengage, and LYONS is feeling that one. They were not able to find the play, and now they're reeling a bit here. Dignitas have a strong position in this game. It's not over yet, but it's looking very favorable.
And so far, like, the early game is very kind of telegraphed now with, you know, grubs plus dragons, constantly one of them cycling and coming up.
Yep.
We're already looking forward to a very straightforward path. Next dragon coming up, 35 seconds here. So Dignitas, since they do have the advantage here, and they've got first item completions on basically everybody, actually everybody, they can just rotate down, move over all your resources here with your vision and everything to the dragon area, claim that first. Surdy does have the advantage in top lane, plus the teleport advantage. So Dignitas really have like all the cards to set up for this dragon as well. And it is going to be on LYON here to decide do they actually get like, you know, some sneak attack on somebody? Because Licorice would have to start walking now. I think they're just gonna have to give it, unless they get like some crazy poke damage or something.
They do have Lethality Varus, who can try and throw that damage in here, and a Cyclone onto Isles, flash away. Cyclone still lands onto Shaden. They're now trying to continue his fight. Big damage, big poke from Tomo right there. Two-shot barrage onto all three members, Mystic shots, and they're still going in. Lions has to pop the ultimate, but Henna has no protection. Oh, flash from Tomo for the auto, will get it. Kaney, rocket jumps in, knocks Lions to safety. Shaden, though, has the karma speed, and then another sidestep. Lions is alive.
Yo, Lions is definitely on land here with that dodge. He is in studio. He is on stage with that dodge.
That was a zero ping dodge right there. Ooh, Licorice shaking another one, going against 30 this time. He's going to win it. It looks like the Ignite burn. One more auto. Can he dash in? There we go. Shut down for Licorice.
Okay. They get one back on the top side. The ego battle of Teleport Ignite top laners does go their way, but unfortunately for Team Lions, they completely dropped the ball here towards the dragon fight.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried to, they did get karma. I guess they got Isles' flash, but then they stick around there, and Shaden massively punishes them. Shaden is the one that does so much of the damage. Really good use of his Xin Zhao ultimate. When Audio's in on his Cyclone with his ultimate, Shaden does not just like run away with Isles. Shaden jumps right back in onto him because they got the root, because they got that full reveal. He got his W, and they go with the Xin Zhao ultimate. He immunes all of the Lion like counter damage. He even got it there with Henna's flash.
Yep.
Still getting the knock up because his auto attack had already started. And then Kaney with the little save towards the end.
That made contact. That's crazy, but you know, still well done.
It's all right. They still got so many victories there in that fight. It's okay. They let one go.
Shaden's up here. One becomes lightning hitting onto Adilan, but not going to continue up with the follow. But Herald is now on the map as well. So Dignitas are just controlling the access points. They got their wards down. They're tracking Adilan to make sure he can't get in and actually force him to use the clone. And also poke on Alliance. So this is still just objective control being the name of the game for Dignitas. Lion have not really found a way to push them off of these. Even though the gold are very even, the objective's just so heavily in Dignitas' favor that you have to give them the advantage right now, unless Lion can find a way to slow these down.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, we've seen with a lot of games, even today specifically, even with one team controlling all the neutral objectives, as we set up for another one, they actually might go for this.
Yeah, watch for the engages. Again, it's Lions and it's Adilan. Shaden actually toys around with the idea. Teleport in. This could be a flank from Saint. Realm Warp. Teleport in now from Surdy. Gonna have a proper 5v5, but currently Dignitas are grouped up as 5. Saint, again, on the flank, a little away from the rest of the team, and now Kaney trying to take advantage of that, jumping in, but does not win that trade. Saint actually pumping damage right now, and Lion pushed Dignitas away. Now they're finding Shaden caught up with the rest of the team. Crescent Guard not available. Shaden goes down.
And Alstar got the shutdown with the Ignite tick, but it doesn't matter. It's still such a huge win.
Yeah.
Lions, they burned Shaden's ultimate super early on the first engage, and they just waited it out. So pretty good taking advantage of that cooldown there. Then Kaney's they're playing a little bit loose with the Tristana, and he went off on the other side, losing out on that battle, and then Shaden actually gets caught in the follow-up. So Lion pulling this one back, and just as we were kind of setting up the full objective domination of Dignitas, Lion themselves with a huge rebuttal, and Rise getting tower gold up here is very big for their split push game later on. That Lion are going to try and bust out. So Rift Herald plus a strong Rise could be a nice recipe for them. And Saint over here, he teleported first, so he arrives, instantly deletes the wave, and then gets over to the fight. There, you know the Xin Zhao ultimate is down, so then they kind of waited out. He actually spaced pretty well so that Surdy couldn't follow up on Kaney's rocket jumping forward. So nice little damage trade there from Saint. But then it is Shaden who tried to walk back into his own territory, into the open arms of Licorice, who was waiting for him, who had hopped over the wall there with the Nefiri. So nice little wraparound, as it seemed like everybody was kind of distracted by Kaney in the mid lane, and they were kind of looking that way. And they got distracted when they were kind of trying to reset.
And the reason I was excited for the Tristana into the Rise was for the laning phase. I'm surprised at how quickly we've gotten to a point where Saint is just out DPSing the Tristana in that 1v1 though. Because that's one of those moments where, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, Tristana, you got to press the attack. Depending on what your items you have, you can maybe just take on the Rise 1v1. That was not the case. So Saint showing that maybe this is not as an ideal of a matchup.
And he did a good job with, like, he has bone plating for the initial, like, burst damage. So the bone plating, and then he used the phase rush afterwards, you know, for to control the distance, to get the better trade as he's trying to jump out. So
it's going to get worse.
It's definitely going to scale well. Rise here with the double stacking items, of course. So that makes our game super fun here, Kangas, because 6 grubs on the side of Dignitas, but gold leads securely taken. After those last couple of plays by LYON, taking down these outer towers really does a lot for you there.
Yeah.
So this Rise can have a lot more room to play with, and the Realm Warps become huge opportunities.
And suddenly, even though Dignitas had all the early objectives, Herald's picked up, mid-turret's cracked, Dragon spawning, and LYON have a gold lead approaching this fight, still with a strong scaling mid laner here who just fully stacked that Seraph. So I think LYON, yeah, this is where you stop the Dragon stacking. Dignitas, they had control over the early game, and now they have lost it. LYON are suddenly in the driver's seat and in a really strong position here because of their ability to play side lanes and also scale further into this game. Stopping the stacking is huge for them right now. Dignitas, even though they're positioned around the Otacon, they don't commit to it. Just Saint's presence there means that, nope, we cannot start this.
I want to see, too, since Nefiri on a little bit cheaper of 2 items here, since Eclipse is a fairly low cost one, gets to the 2-item power spike, and maybe he can try and force something on Surdy again. Like, the top lane Ignite teleport battles are one of my favorite parts about this game. He's not going to be able to go find him there. Wants to finish off a couple minions here towards tower. But I was hoping we were going to get another 1v1, because that would have been a great break point with Sojin Jun for Licorice. But now Surdy on reset after pushing that wave had enough money to finish Nashor's Tooth too. Yeah. So now the double item Gwen here, even though he is a level down still, I still think that Gwen is going to be an issue.
Yeah, I think Surdy needs to be one of the win conditions for Dignitas right now. If you can win that solo side lane, that will nullify some of Saint's advantage right now in that mid lane. 1.5 thousand ahead of Kaney. Saint is a lot of that lead the LYON have for themselves right now.
Yeah, Kaney, not only is it behind in gold, but a lot of the kind of rocket jumps and positioning from him has been a little bit suspect so far this game, so is going to really need to dial that in. Once he gets his Infinity Edge, he will be a real threat anyway. You have a lot of burst damage there with a Tristana, especially if you can roll some nice crits. Your Yuntal plus your IE could be an opportunity for him to kind of have some redemption in this game.
That's tough, though, when you have to put it down to rolling crits in order to do the damage necessary. It can still take a while before you have those item breakpoints to actually be a threat right now. And even the lane assignments right now, like, I don't think Kaney's that safe against Licorice either, even with that range advantage right now. So Saint really is in a position to carry this game and just be that solo win con for LYON. The rest of the team as well not in a bad spot. We don't have any big objectives spawning for a while here, so we see these teams just going for very safe lane positions. LYON is hovering the top side though, so Kaney needs to be careful, because if you're ever not paying attention, you could just get 100-0 during an Alistar combo.
I am also really watching Saint right now. That Rise was wrapping around, looking for some extra deep split push pressure, but Licorice is the one.
Licorice in trouble. He can try and jump away. Remember, no flash. Isles flashing forward to follow, and it looks like Licorice is punished. Shut down gold over to Kaney. That will get a Tristana back into the game. Saint teleports topside, but the play is already over. You're just going to try and catch this wave.
I mean, the play is over, and you lose your teleport on your Rise. The Rise, the most powerful single person. He wants to make the most out of it. I mean, he's got phase rush, he can run away, but losing the teleport off Rise is one of your biggest game pieces right now.
Yeah.
That's the most fed member of the team without having the split push plays available to you to answer the Gwen now. The Gwen is probably going to get a bunch of money. Free bottom tower. I guess Licorice in 15 seconds. Oh, here we go.
Realm Warp in onto Caney. Lions as well. Caney uses the Buster Shot, flashes away, but everybody's diving onto the Tristana. Shut down for Saint, I suppose, as the teleport is coming in straight into the Cyclone. Now Surdy might want that one back. Lions frontlining for the team, Shaden frontlining for his, and it's actually Shaden surviving for longer. Will get sniped by Henna as the extended trade 1-4-2.
They do get value out of it.
Yeah.
Saint sticks around and they force it with the Realm Warp. Caney down again. The flash use on the Tristana too. The rewards here for Lion should be huge.
And no engage.
They've got positioning here.
No needlework, no nothing. No smite steal either, so I think Lion, yeah, they're just gonna get this Otacon. Dignitas will have to watch it go down. Well, hey, look at that. We're getting an interesting game here, Kobe. It started off with Dignitas controlling nearly every single objective. 2 spawns of Grubs, 2 spawns of Dragon. They get the feats of strength, but then the second half of this game has been all Lions.
It was such a good force. I do like this replay because it shows the timing of the force means that they didn't even give up their tower. That was going to be the price for Saint teleporting up topside, but the Realm Warp makes it so good for them. Nice little snap at the very end there too, as Xin Zhao just sends out ultimate. But really good Realm Warp force. Caney here on the Tristana is having a very rough time, and it is not only the death cap, but the level 17 because the Rod of Ages also ticked over. So Saint is basically this game right now. Ooh. And with the Realm Warp plays that we have seen, definitely expect Lion to continue to put out that pressure and try and get these trap plays going for themselves. Because, I mean, Saint's almost level 18. He is very close to getting his 3-level lead over Caney, not to mention his 3-item power spike for the Rise.
And upgraded, but Caney hasn't even upgraded his boots. That's how far in the hole Caney is right now compared to Saint. Not looking fantastic for Dignitas' chances here. They're going to need to have more of these side lane plays. It looked good to start getting the pick on the Licorice. The shutdown gold onto Caney, so trying to get the Tristana back in the game. But like you had said, because Surdy had to teleport, doesn't get that bottom turret immediately, it's still up. The composition with the Tristana is usually the one that I'd put expectation to take these early turrets, yet to even crack 1.
See about the poke damage here, because the jungle's fully lit up.
Corruption.
Fully lit up jungle here behind the Baron, so should just be kind of lying in wait, looking for this little bits of poke damage, looking for these trap plays on the side of Lion. They've got the Realm Warp, so every time Dignitas come over and try and make sure that they can check Baron and check this vision, it's an opportunity for Lion to actually go for a pick. Or Alistar can just headbutt Shaden away. If Alistar just plays bodyguard here, the Baron's almost dead.
They won't even get a chance to go in here. Yep, as Lion will knock him away. Pulverize, but Shaden might still get in. No, Baron is secured. Lion's taking up so much damage here on the other side of the wall as Saint will actually use the Realm Warp. Is that going to catch him? No. I like the attempt trying to get Lions out, but you'll sacrifice your cow for that Baron.
Yeah, thick part of the wall right there. Yeah, everybody wearing purple though. They're happy to sacrifice him. Let's see Dignitas. They're going to try and get like this low health tower, but Audieland and Saint are sticking around to defend.
Looks like the first turret will finally go down for Dignitas. Much needed gold in their pocket, but still the Red Bull Baron power play we expect to swing heavily towards Lion's favor. They're going for their resets now back onto the map. They can push in all of these waves, and Dignitas still have yet to find a way to stop Lion's comeback.
And just stop Saint.
Yeah, like what do you do about this Rise?
Let's start with step number 1 here. What are we gonna do about that guy?
3rd item on Caney helps, I will say.
Yeah, I mean the Flicker Blade is one of the biggest kind of multipliers for a Tristana. Still has a lot of ground to pick up though, and as you say, still hasn't upgraded the boots, so doesn't get the feats bonus either over there. Is in a currently 3-level deficit. He's about to get some experience here for level 16.
There we go. Just hits it off of that one minion, but can he defend the turret is the question. Baron apart minions, and he just gets chunked, man. The Varus poke on top of the Rise, and Just this one cannon minion might be enough here. Tomo's trying to do his best to clear it out, and will get it eventually. But that next wave could spell doom for the bottom turret, as we're also pushing mid. LYON in full control of this game, and that Baron power play is about to balloon into a big gold lead.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's a full minute and a half before the next dragon, but with the remnants of the Baron buff, they're just going to keep Dignitas pushed into their own base, take away as many little resources off the map as you can, as many little jungle camps, as well as destroying your vision plan.
And what I will say, we're learning a lot about LYON and how they play the game. Something we've talked about a lot so far is that we did not see many games of them on stage last split. LYON's, their support wasn't even here. He was playing remote. And now, 2-game sample size, we are learning that they're a team that likes to play a very controlled game. They're not going for the most flashy plays, but it's all about timers and being where they want to be on the map at the right time. And Saint, the standout performer from last split, is also really stepping up as a prime carry in this league. Now, strength of schedule is another conversation to have. This is LYON versus DSG, and now Dignitas as the first 2 opponents, but they're on the cusp of what looks like could be another win here, as they're going to take all of the tier 2 turrets, get a very large gold lead. Really good start and really good turnaround for LYON in the 2025 season.
Yeah, and they've got a Realm Warp ready with an Arm Guard in inventory for Saint, so they basically continue to control the map, take as much as they can. They can't deny the blue buff, but take away the Raptors, and Saints going back towards topside as well again to keep his pressure up. And again, Arm Guard for Ryze makes it so difficult to stop his split push. Has his flash, has his Realm Warp, has his Arm Guard, so the rest of the team can go set up around Dragon, and Saint will apply the pressure on the other part of the map. He's going for a recall now, though. What else does he have in inventory? Holy moly, how much money does this guy have?
Has the teleport, so we can always TP to this dragon. It's the Arm Guard.
He already had that.
And it's a Zonius. Wow. Fully upgraded Zonius. Didn't even have to use the Arm Guard. Dragon is up here. Dignitas are going to walk up, but Surdy's got to catch his top wave before he wants to TP in. Now the Realm Warp from Saint. Just massive damage on the Shin, and he just gets bobbed like a balloon. Licorice, meanwhile, almost goes down. Explosive shot, not enough. True shot barrage. Sidestep. Adilan in trouble as Surdy looks to make the hero play. Saint went deep in enemy territory. Might get punished. No! He's too tanky as the Rise. Tomo cannot kill him. And LYON, they get out, not losing a single member, claiming 2.
All right, Tomo, careful. Tomo got chunked early on by Licorice. That's why Licorice was so low, and Licorice wants to come finish the job.
He TP topside. Tomo might not have realized. Has flash available, should be fine. Yeah, not going to go down, but that should be a free uncontested dragon for LYON now. Shaden's still dead for another 10 seconds. No contest.
All right, so the start of it with the Realm Warp in. On the right side of your screen, you can see what I'm talking about. Tomo got chunked really low by Licorice, but then Licorice, that's why he had to get out of there immediately. And Rise going past up into the back line. You see, he wanted to finish off Kaney and Tomo, but he went past Surdy, so it was looking a little dicey until the turnaround here, and they just popped him. He's so fed. So much damage here.
Yeah, we highlighted the stasis from the Zonias earlier, and it bought so much time for the team to back him up.
All right, let's take a look here after the reset, though, because Baron is the next thing on the menu, only 40 seconds away here. And the critical flashes that were blown in the last one here. Big one for Wukong. You know, being able to use that with your ultimate is so huge for these team fights. Tomo is going to have a lot of mobility available to him, being Ezreal and having his flash available. So we'll see if he's able to keep up the pressure, if he's able to keep the hopes here for Dignitas in this game. Because LYON have amassed a 6,000 gold lead in addition to all their Infernal Dragons. And
in addition to Baron spawning in 8 seconds, but they actually reset. Interesting to see LYONs go for the reset. They had numbers advantage on the Baron. I thought they were just going to take it on spawn, since Surdy was bottom side, but looks like no immediate Baron take. Instead, it's Saints just using the phase rush to get away from Shaden. Teleported from Kaney as Dignitas will try and control the river here towards that big purple worm. Oh, they're just going to start it? I guess it's a 50-50 angle. I mean, they're so far behind in this game. Maybe this is going to work. They're shredding it really fast. Wow, Adilan can't get in. That's just Baron taken by Dignitas. LYON, maybe they chase him down. No, they can't get on them. They might get one. Licorice jumps in. That's a rampage. Surdy goes down, but the rest of Dignitas in full retreat. Maybe Lions can stop this. Maybe Alistair can thwart the retreat. Here comes Licorice. Flash away from Isle. Shaden trying to buy space. Isle still in trouble. Shaden rooted down, but they got back to the turret. Dignitas, get out of there.
They got a heist of their own. They get the Baron only dropping one. It is going to cost them this tower on top side, though, because Lion are going to keep pushing.
Okay.
But they have the Baron here, so one inhibitor isn't that bad of a deficit, considering you were down 6,000 gold, and you just ran to Baron and burned it.
And I'll say it again.
Big mistake from Lion there.
Yeah.
They didn't have vision of it, and they started walking away from it, too. If you look at the moments leading up to that Baron, they were even mid lane and still started walking away from it. So not a lot of focus there on the critical objective. And Dignitas with a new meaning to Dignitas Baron.
True, usually those get thrown, statistically at least, but this time around they do secure it here as it's the teleport early, and you see how far away Licorice is from this play.
And so, yeah, look at
they
this.
also don't have vision on it.
I mean, yeah, you got to feel like it's going, though, and Licorice was kind of hovering to the other side of mid lane, so. I mean, they had the other ward leading up over to it. They knew they just teleported, so I mean, it's good job by Dignitas by jumping over the walls and not actually walking on the vision, but still, you have to be a little bit more suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely Lion giving the window and not respecting the fact that Dignitas are willing to take it. So congrats to Dignitas. It's a Red Bull Baron power play, but it's only an 800 beneficial one. So minute left on that. I don't even think they're going to be able to hit a turret with this.
A large part of the benefit, though, is taking it off the map. Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's going to help the 1v1 very much here as Licorice and Surdy are fighting each other. Redemption not even going to land on Surdy because he's trying to run away from there. Knows that Adiland is nearby and flash forward from the Wukong. Adiland picks up the kill.
Hey, they get the kill in the ego battle on side lane. It's not gonna determine an objective, but it does relieve a lot of the pressure of the Baron.
Yeah.
So now your Baron that you talked about not having a big gold advantage isn't going to have a lot of pushing advantage, and Tomo's under attack.
Yeah, Shaden's actually under attack as well. Woo. Saint has just so much damage. Saint on the rise is a threat to be feared. And Saint is the carry right now for Lion. Everybody else trying to use these Baron-empowered recalls to get away from there. Tomo's not going to make it out. Tomo's going to go down here. Flash and barrier, not even going to use them. Hannah with the kill credit.
All right, Dignitas may have snuck away the Baron, but they are not going to retake control of Summoner's Rift. Lion will make sure of that. Saint will make sure of that. These Realm Warps again, catching them off guard. They chase them down, cutting off two Kangas. That just leaves your base wide open.
Yeah, this might be the game-ending push right here. Lion, they take down the first turret right now. They have Super still pushing topside pretty far away, so they'd have to do it off of this wave. Instead, they're going to look at mid lane. They did this yesterday as well. They play very cautious at the end. Rather than going for the big push, they'll say, nope, we will guarantee it by just shattering the opponent's base. That is all three inhibitors, but now Lions actually goes back in. Surdy, the engaged target. Hard to lock down the Gwen and fully shut her down, but Saint's damage is just insane, man. Full build on the rise.
Yeah, well, that rise is about to get an Infernal Dragon as well.
Yeah.
Infernal Soul buff. So that is...
all 4 Infernal Dragons, too.
That is maximum DPS rise. Well, I guess he could sell his boots and get Sword Shield.
True. Oh, hey, close. I like the look, Tomo, but not going to work out here. And Dignitas, they're on the last leg. They're going to look for a miracle to close this one out with a victory. Lion on the precipice of a 2-0 start to their split 2. This would feel fantastic for the team that really struggled in that first split. It was a short one for them. 2 losses in best-of-3 series in a row. This would be a complete 180 from that. Yes, it's best of ones. There's going to be the group stage after this, but still, you're starting that momentum and you're showing us what we can expect from this team.
All right. 3 inhibitors down, and you've got all the buffs and the time in the world here, Lion. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to look for Caney again. Saint does have Realm Warp, but the super minions are lagging a little bit behind, so we'll have to wait for all these lanes to close in. You see bottom lane pushing itself down there, and the rest of Lion closing the loop. Everything around Dignitas here closing in. They have to make their last stand very soon here.
The walls are closing in. The Realm Warp's coming in. Kaney in trouble. Able to bust a shot one, but cannot lock down Adi Lan, and that means he is dead and dusted. Licorice over the top, pushes Isles back. Surdy's down. Double kill to Saint. Double kill, triple kill to Hannah. LYON with the victory and a 2-0 start to their split 2.
Undefeated LYON Gaming here in the LTA.
Not a bad start.